Hello everybody, here we go again. My name is Phaethodas or Mr. Phae. And here we have one new build, one more build for Titan Quest. This build is called Dragon Spear, because it is a dragon hunter but it uses a spear. It doesn't use a bow or a thrown weapon or a melee weapon. The spear is a melee weapon, but it is not a sword, it is not a club, it is not an axe, it is a spear. So this is the Dragon Spear. And here we have it. Some people were asking for a Dragon Hunter build with a spear. This is it. We have a legendary hero. It is a Dragon Hunter class. Attribute points have been spent. I spent 12 points on health to increase my health points. I spent nothing on energy. I spent nothing on intelligence. I spent most of my points on strength and dexterity almost equally. A little bit more on strength. With masteries, we have Hunting and Rune Mastery. In Hunting, we have maxed out the Steady Prey and the add-on Flash Out, of course, to reduce the resistance of enemies to the types of damage that we deal. We deal physical, pierce, and also elemental damage, lots of elemental damage. With this one, we reduce elemental resistance of enemies, and with this one, physical and pierce resistances. I haven't spent any points on Call of the Hunt yet, because after all I don't have any recharge reduction and this has a long cooldown period, so I didn't really care about it. I have spent only 1 point on Takedown and 1 on Eviscerate, but we can see that it is on 5 because we get +4 to all skill levels from items. And I'm using this one only to run faster because it is a movement speed skill. We have maxed out the Valet, 3 projectiles, maxed out the Art of the Hunt for the buffs, but I have spent only a single point on this one, Fight Cover, for now, and 1 point on Trailblazing for the reduced entrapment duration. But I have maxed out totally the Spear Dance, because this one is a very nice AoE skill with the spear. It hits multiple enemies with a spear. Here we have maxed out the Wood Lord. This is mandatory if you play with a bow or a spear, or even thrown weapons. And here we have the Herbal Remedy, which is also maxed out. In Rune Mastery, we have the Rune Weapon, maxed out of course. This is the main skill here, which we use to attack all the time. And this skill buffs up our elemental damages, total damage and intelligence, which means that with total damage it increases all types of damage we deal. And intelligence increases energy regen and also damage to vitality and elemental. And the buff elemental damages increase only elemental damages. So this is a very powerful skill. We have maxed out the add-on Magical Charge because it gives a flat amount of elemental damage to our weapon attacks, and also elemental retaliation when enemy attackers with melee attacks only attack us. They receive elemental retaliation. But this retaliation works only on melee attackers, not on ranged attackers. And I spent only 1 point on this one because I wanted to have this 4% of attack damage compared to health and maybe a little bit of energy lead. Now, we have spent only a single point on Sacred Rage and the add-on Frightening Power. In case you are about to get killed, you get this one to trigger it, it saves your butt. And this one helps even more. I haven't maxed out this one because I didn't really need to max it out. I have spent only 1 point here to get some offensive ability and the requirement for weapons. Okay. We have maxed out the Rune Ward Explode because this also works with melee attacks and it is added damage when it triggers, and we have maxed out the add-on Rune Ward Burn. This one applies burn damage over time to enemies. It works with both melee weapons and ranged weapons, of course. I have spent only 1 point on this one because I use a shield, I have a shield. This one helps with absorption of spell energy, which means that enemies use a specific amount of their energy to cast a spell on you. When they do that, you absorb from the spell energy they used against you, you absorb an amount and you gain energy points down here. So it is helpful. And also the shield recover time means that your shield can block more frequently incoming attacks. I have maxed out the Thunder Strike at the add-on. This is very powerful. We want to have this one. And here we have the Rune of Life. This is quite self-explanatory. So these are the skills from masteries. We also have one skill which comes from items. Now we will see the items. We can see that this one is not really equipped because I have only 579 strength and this one requires 600 strength. But if I click on this one, Rune of Life. Cha. It is instantly equipped. Because Rune of Life takes me up to 635. So the other skill that we have is this one, the Spirit Ward, which provides, it is an aura which you trigger and it stays on. It provides a tiny amount of damage to undead, but I'm using it for the less damage from undead, not for the damage. Okay, the damage to undead also works, but it is very tiny. The less damage from undead is a very good amount, 23%. And this skill comes from this item, the Dark Depths. I'm using this one for the resistance. And it also, the item provides less damage from demons, so less damage from demons, less damage from the undead. Very good, very powerful item. Here we have the symbol of the Polymath with a completion bonus of armor protection. Here we have the Brooch Plate, Mancer frequent item. This is great because it has the prefix Transcended, which provides the physical bleeding, elemental poison, vitality, not the physical, the bleeding, elemental poison, vitality resistances, as far as I remember. It is a very good item for survivability now, and I decided to go with the Amun-Ra Glory to get more resistances and health and energy points. Here we have this item, a Tinkerer. I'm using this one for survivability, of course, but also I'm using the Essence of Chaos, which is one of the two relics that we can get only from the endgame dungeons, and this Essence of Chaos is very powerful. It provides elemental damage flat and elemental resistance, and the bonus was 10%. I was lucky to get one with that bonus anyway. This one buffs up both my elemental resistances, survivability, and my damage output. And let's not forget that this elemental damage, of course, also gets buffed by all of these things. Elemental damage is total damage, intelligence, you know. So this build is a very strong build when it comes to elemental damage, and of course physical and pierce damage, but mostly elemental physical. And I decided to put the second component is the Wheel of Azax, because it provides survivability and secondary resistances. So this item is very good overall. The Reforged Umbrage of Greater Will. This belongs to the Immortal Hero set, which is one of the two endgame sets from the endgame dungeons again. I'm using this one for the +2 to skills. The survivability options it provides, not many unfortunately, and the attack speed. And also the Study Prey is very powerful, useful, whatever you want to call it. And I'm using also the Amulet of the same set, which is great for survivability, and it also provides +2 to skills. And now, because they belong to the same set, we have the bonus of the set, which is 2-piece bonus set, which is 8% physical damage, base damage, some bleeding damage, strength, dexterity buffs. Apollo's Will. Since this build is also dealing piercing damage, we have these pierce damage buffs from the rings, big buffs, and of course survivability, resistances, health. So the pierce is plus 192% pierce damage. Not the highest you could have in the game, but of course we don't play, you know, we are not trying to be pierce damage mainly here. Physical, we don't have big buffs, only 23% physical damage. Fire is yeah, not very much, but we get flat numbers of damage to elemental from item. But anyway, these two help very much with survivability and damage output. Now we have the shield. This is absolute perfection because it has the resisted prefix, and this time around the resisted prefix appeared with two resistances, with fire and cold, instead of one resistance. And this is what makes it a perfect one. And I went with the rigid carapace, which has a completion bonus pierce resistance. So this item alone provides 111, 80, 30, 110, 111% pierce resistance. Of course, it doesn't have the highest number of damage to block, but I'm not using it so much for blocking damage. Last but not least, the Reef Guard's Spike. Atlantis Spear with the Tinkerer suffix has a very nice prefix, which is the Crippling, which provides the reduced armor or the slower attack. I don't remember exactly which one of the two. Maybe it is not the Crippling. But anyway, it is very good because the reduced armor reduces the armor of enemies by a flat amount. This means that now enemies will receive more physical damage from you. so it makes your physical attacks even more powerful. If it also slows down enemies for some time, it makes things even easier for you. I decided to go with the Anubis Wrath with the completed relic bonus attack speed. Attack speed is very crucial to this build. And the attack damage convert to health. And the second one comes from Eternal Ember's Act, the Huyi's Determination. I'm using this one for the 20% attack speed and the bonus piercing damage, whatever it was. But mostly for the attack speed. I didn't have a good Valor of Achilles, for example, to use on this one. So I'm using the Determination. So this is the build. Let's activate the skills. All of my skills are activated. Resistance is 72, 31, 51, perfect. This is awesome. 30, perfect. 33, 32, this is awesome. In combination with this one especially. These are my numbers. Damage, not damage, attributes, whatever. These are the resistances. 80% trap resist. 39. Offensive ability, defensive. Unfortunately 0 recharge. Movement speed perfect. But here we don't have anything to see now. So this is the build. Now we will kill a couple of enemies for you to see some gameplay. We can use this one, the takedown skill to reach enemies faster. They are running away now. Well, I'm not going to allow them to run away. You see that these enemies turtles usually have great pierce resistance, but this build is quite powerful. It combines not just pierce, but also it has elemental damage, physical. And it can kill these enemies even though they have very good pierce resistance. Elemental damage helps to kill them faster. There are too many turtles in this area. Easy. Easy. Of course, the resistances of this build are not perfect, so if we are not careful enough, we will die in some cases against some enemies. But the point here is not to make a perfect resistance build. It is to make a satisfying to play build. This build is very satisfying. So guys, this is the gameplay of this build. It is quite simple. Okay, can we kill something? Yes, we could. It is that simple. We have these three main skills to be using on the enemy, and we have this one if we want to run faster to reach an enemy faster. These ones, we activate these ones, they remain active, and this is it. It is that simple. The gameplay of this bit is very simple. Actually, you are using only 1, 2, 3, 4 skills, and this one is a permanent one, 5. So it is not really a piano build. You don't have to click at 8 or plus skills all the time. If you want to see a piano build, take a look at another build I have created in the past. I don't even remember the name of that build. The trap build, I think I call it. That one is a piano build. So, anyways, thanks for watching. This is the video. Leave a comment below if you like it, if you don't like it. I mean the build, if you like. And I'll be back with more content very, very soon. Have a great one, everybody.